Hello everyone and welcome back to Pikmin Challenge Mode. Last time we did the Forest of Hope, and as some of you may have noticed, the numbers right there, 287, not 282. It's the area where it's the easiest to grow Pikmin. So the Forest Navel and Distant Spring, they're going to definitely be more challenging than the Forest of Hope. The Forest of Hope wasn't that challenging at all in the end, but still more dangerous than the impact site. Anyway, Forest Navel, go. Probably the day lasts as long as it did in the Forest of Hope here. And probably the same thing with the Distant Spring too. So 18 minutes roughly to grow as many Pikmin as you can. Unlike the last times, we start with 5 Pikmin of each color this time around. Also the bread bug again. Just gonna quickly throw 2 blue Pikmin. If you only throw 1 Pikmin or barely enough Pikmin to carry an object that the bread bug is carrying, they're going to be dragged by the bread bug. And if they get stuck back at its nest over there and over there in the north, they die instantly. There, managed to defeat it. That's 2 yellows? Fair enough. I kind of underestimated the yellows. We do need them. They're useful for a lot of things, namely bomb rocks, which aren't a lot of things technically, but they serve the purpose with a lot of things. Anyway, I'm gonna need more blue Pikmin actually. Carry the body back. Throw the reds. I don't really have a strategy for this area. Actually, yeah, there is something. I believe the puff stool is somewhere around here. There's something I didn't show in the main campaign that I probably should show this time around. Basically, when the puff stool attacks, it releases spores that turn your Pikmin into zombie Pikmin per se. And when they're like that, they try to attack Olimar, but your Pikmin that haven't been affected, they'll also attack your own Pikmin, and because of that, they'll likely defeat them. Part of the reason why I didn't let it happen originally, because I really didn't want to jeopardize my Pikmin army with something that is easily avoided. But I guess I'll let some Pikmin take a loss just to show what happens. Because it is something unique to Pikmin 1, the Pikmin zombies. The Puffmin, I guess. I think they're called that? Puffmin? That's their fan name at least. Even the enemy reel didn't show it, surprisingly enough. If the enemy reel had shown it, I probably would have explained it, and that would have been it. But it didn't, so because of that, I'm gonna have to show it myself. Assuming the puff stool is even here. It might not be. I think it might be in the Distant Spring. 2 of them, in fact. So who knows? Maybe I'm just talking a bit ahead right now. Not actually realizing the puff stool is not here. Know what? 52 Pikmin is enough. I'm gonna leave the sprouts. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave my Pikmin all over here, and then pick up the sprouts. That's what I'm gonna do. Fortunately, the yellow Pikmin will be reaping the benefits of the nectars. All for themselves. Any others? Nah. Okay, so we're gonna be heading out over here. We're not going to be touching any of those pellets because I don't need to. Leave a few Pikmin to take care of that. Obstacles take a lot less longer to actually break down in this mode. Probably for efficiency reasons. I'm surprised we haven't met Shearwigs, by the way. They're probably somewhere. Just leave the entire army. There's yellow nectar right there. 2, in fact. So I'm gonna probably use those. I'm gonna leave these Pikmin to take care of that. I'm surprised at the lack of enemies. I'm gonna guess there's gonna be a whole bunch of them somewhere in the beach, though. There we go. A lot more. Well, not that much more, but still. More flower Pikmin is always a good thing, even if it's only a few more. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be there. What about here? Yeah, no enemy here either. Come to think of it. Maybe this... I think this is exactly like the impact site. There's no enemies. Huh. Okay, so you know what? I was completely wrong about the challenge mode being tougher all around. There are some clear-cut cases where that's not how it works at all. So challenge mode, it's only meant to be challenging. Also, yellow Pikmin, please. Damn. Don't have enough yellows. Well, you know what? I'm gonna make them carry it back anyway. Because why not? I mean, I'm just gonna have to change the color of the Pikmin carrying the thing when it gets to the base. I just have to be there for it, you know? I wish the Pikmin were smart enough to, like, know to use it on the right onion. But, whatever. They're not that smart. Or they're not smart at all. They only listen to what Olimar does and, like ants. Hey, you guys can work on this now. So besides the bread bug, there's no enemies here. This is exactly like the impact site, except a lot larger. And the day doesn't seem to last as long as the Forest of Hope either. So I guess this is another area that's meant to be done with speed and efficiency because of the fact that there's no enemies around. Besides the bread bug, which isn't really an enemy once you know what to do. You guys are gonna have to stop carrying this thing. Come back here. And where are the other? Oh yeah, there they are. Are there any bombs for us to find? Because if there aren't, I'm not gonna bother with using yellow Pikmin anymore. Because what's the point of yellow Pikmin if there's no bombs for them to use? Well, I guess they also can be thrown really high in the air, but that's not something that's that needs to be used specifically, or even all that often. Especially in Pikmin 2. In Pikmin 2, there's a weird momentum glitch. Actually, the momentum glitch is or momentum exploit is in Pikmin 1 too, but in Pikmin 2, the purple Pikmin, they made the momentum exploit even more broken than before because of the way they like stomp onto stuff. I'm gonna need more blue Pikmin actually, because there is a portion of this map where that is completely drenched in water. Do I need these yellow Pikmin? I don't think so. 74 is good enough. There's a part over there, we can leave it be. We can throw one Pikmin there. We can leave the rest to work on this. You know what, I'm gonna leave some reds to work on this. Only 10? Yeah, only 10. Thank you. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Counting is hard. Because for some reason, there wasn't 10 Pikmin that I threw. I remember when counting was hard, actually. But the only reason I remember when counting was hard was because I was the first in my class to learn how to count to 100, which was a big deal back then. The teacher then tried to make me count till 200, but that was too complicated for me. I mean, seriously, 200? Way too complicated. 100 was okay. 200? Too much. Oh, cool. Honey Wisp. Another enemy, even though technically not an enemy. Come on, Leaf Pikmin. You can get out of the water. There's a geyser I can use as a shortcut back up into the main area too, though. Kinda useful. Should have brought more blue Pikmin. Gonna need lots of blue Pikmin, actually. Another place I can use as a shortcut. Okay, nifty. Entire army of flower Pikmin. Good. What's over here, though, is my question. Because there's really no point for me to not wait for these guys to get this bridge done. Usually takes a decent amount of time for Pikmin to get it done back in this story mode, but here, not the case. By the way, this is a bottomless pit, and there's no respawn mechanic in this game, so you are doomed if you fall down there. I'm pretty sure. Oh, really? That's how it is? Okay. Yellow Pikmin then. Not gonna need that many. I guess this is the... well, whatever. So there's a certain point where you're supposed to call the Pikmin back. It's basically when the clam stops moving. Like you guys can see when it's trying to... just about to slam down on itself. The clam like stops moving for a second. Wish I had brought red Pikmin for this, but what can I do? This is a challenge that's supposed to be done with the yellow Pikmin. Seriously, I could have just brought like 5 Pikmin and that would have been enough. Well, maybe 10's not a bad number. One more time. Ah, jeez. Can't believe I completely missed. And now, since one of the Pikmin landed on the thing's mouth, ended up doing the eating motion anyway. Okay, it's gonna take one more time again. Took long enough. Hold on a moment. Yeah, blue Pikmin. I will need more blue Pikmin for stuff. I can't bring up the map, so I can't check how much of a specific color I have right now. At least they're all flower Pikmin. Because I want the red Pikmin to bring that thing back. I have a good decent number. Okay, nifty. Then leave all the other Pikmin to do this. Or just leave them to help the red Pikmin. Okay, cool. Can at least bring those things back. In the meantime, use the geyser for a shortcut. That's not the area I was expecting me to drop to, but whatever. When there's flower sprouts on the ground here, if you leave them during the day too long, I believe they eventually wilter. And eventually grow back into a leaf Pikmin sprout. Kind of a nifty life cycle. That I believe only is in Pikmin 1, actually. And it makes sense, too. Well, in Pikmin logic sense, anyway. Anyway, got the pearl, which means lots more blue Pikmin. Hold on a moment. Sorry about the awkward pause, but there was a fly flying around and I had to get rid of it because it was really pestering me. Anyway, back to this. I need lots more blue Pikmin in order to check out that final area that I haven't checked. Well, there's actually a few decent areas I haven't checked, but mostly the water area I'm concerned about. Wait, what? What happened there? Oh, perfect. Just exactly the 2 Pikmin that were supposed to carry the stain failed to carry it. I guess I can leave Pikmin around here if I need to. Is Pikmin smart? Yeah, they were smart. Ils étaient autonomes. And that was awkward French for me right there. Sorry. Wasn't even a proper sentence. Yeah, actually, come to think of it, I do believe that even if you leave Pikmin lying around, they still count into to your like percentage of results of how well you performed. So you don't have to be concerned about the end day where you have to have all your Pikmin be back at the land site or be under your control in order for them to count over your Pikmin number. And actually, I believe, yeah, this day is just as long as the Forest of Hope Day. Or almost just as long as the Forest of Hope Day. Really? That's what it is? Well, we're not going to be able to get this part back, but we know it exists. And there definitely isn't any bomb rocks in this map. So yellow Pikmin, except for that pearl, yellow Pikmin are completely useless. There was no point for me to build so many. So yeah, this is actually rather a boring map, when it could have been much more interesting with enemies everywhere. But no, the developers decided to make it instead a map where you had to focus exclusively on getting pellets. No. Because I really don't like these maps where it's literally just pellets. Except for the impact side one, because the impact side one, it's cozy in a sense. And it also follows the theme of the impact side being an area that's easy to deal with. But for the Forest Navel, it's a huge expansive area. There could have been like really interesting enemies everywhere. Like imagine burrowing snagrets. Or multiple bread bugs even. Why is there only one? And why is it right at the beginning? That kind of concerns me actually. Why do they make it so that the bread bug is right in front of you right at the beginning? It'd make much more sense for it to be out somewhere in the open where you have to find it real quick if you want to get 100% sprout numbers. Instead it's right at the beginning. Because of that, it's like literally not a challenge to defeat it right immediately. Well, we're definitely not getting those parts back. But I guess I can start work on them. 237, that's... I believe that beat my old record. Or almost. Can we at least get this bridge done in time? Come on, yellow Pikmin! Finish that bridge! Finish the fight! Except there wasn't any in this game, this mode, this stage. Except for the bread bug, I guess. Cool! Finished it just at the last moment! That was awesome! And yet again, another depressing ending. Seriously, it is kind of depressing. Just, there's no music. I think that's the issue. Alright, what's our score? And did I actually beat my old record? Barely, but I did, by 3 Pikmin. Cool. So, didn't do that badly. The only enemies in this area were the pearly clamp, the bread bug, and the honey wisp. And 2 of those enemies are practically passive. In fact, they're all, in a sense, passive. They only defeat your Pikmin if you let them. Except for the honey wisp, it's completely harmless. Well, anyway, that was my Forest Navel attempt. Roughly in the same average as I did back when I first played this game. The new play control version. And yeah, probably the most boring of all of them though, the challenge maps. Just because it's like too big. And we really didn't need another map that's just pellets with a few enemies. Passive enemies. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video and hope you have a very nice day. Next time, the Distant Spring. See you then!